Your love is rated X. That means you're extraordinary.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Genesis here, and if you don't know, well, now you know. Welcome to my podcast, Genesis, where I am your host, Hennessy's. If you're new here, the reason why I name my podcast after my name is because of the meaning of it. It means the beginning, and this is a new beginning. Or if you believe that Genesis simply means a beginning, nonetheless, it's a beginning. So that's why I decided to name it Genesis, not because I'm conceited, because of the power that the name holds. Welcome back, or welcome to my podcast channel, you guys. I'm so happy to have you guys here. This is the 7th podcast episode. 7 is an awesome number. It happens to be one of my favorite numbers. My two favorite numbers are 3 and 7. I don't know why, but I just love those numbers. But anyways, you guys are here because you wanted to hear about a time that I catfished someone. Unfortunately, it wasn't as long to live as my previous podcast episode where I talked about how I was catfished on a dating app. But it's not what you think. I was not dating the person. If you guys want to know about that, oh my gosh, if you guys want to know about that, feel free to check my last podcast episode. Anyways, so let's just cut to the chase, right? Let me turn the notifications on to focus here because I just simply don't want to... Oh, that was loud, sorry. I simply don't want any noises to be coming in. So, the reason why I catfished this person was because I needed to prove that this person was cheating on me. And you guessed it, they were very much cheating on me. A little background to this whole situation. I had assumed that they were cheating on me because they would never let me near their phone, you know, like all the red flags were there. Or they would be really sus about when they were texting around me. And it was just odd. It was just a lot of not concrete evidence, but enough to like make me feel like something was going on. It was all until this person went out of state to go visit family. And I guess out there they also had somebody that they would hook up with, or they were dating. I don't know the whole background to it. Like, I genuinely don't know. But while this person was there, they told me that they got in a fight. And when they got in a fight, it resulted in having bruises on their neck because the person that they got in a fight with was choking them. And I was like, oh my God, oh no, are you okay? You know, very concerned. I was so scared that the guy I was dating was hurt. And he's like, no, I'm fine. It's okay. They were just making fun of my friend and I didn't appreciate it. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that you defended them. Like, that's so nice of you to defend your friend because they're your friend, right? Fast forward to him coming back from vacation. He visits me at night and tells me, after I ask him, he was wearing a hoodie that night that he came over to see me. And man, let me tell you guys, he was being really sus. And I had asked him about how his bruises are around his neck, and he didn't know what I was talking about. I don't think he remembered lying to me about that situation, and I just let it go. Later, a few days later, our dryer stops working at my house. So my mom asks, by favor, can we reach out to my boyfriend and if he could ask his parents if we could use their dryer because ours wasn't working. And so yeah, that happened, right? So here I am dropping off clothes and picking up clothes from the dryer, and he is talking to me in his laundry room in his house. But he wasn't wearing a hoodie. He was just in a simple t-shirt, and I could see the bruises on his neck. And I didn't say anything. I pretended to be stupid, like I didn't see that. And I felt like that was my confirmation enough to break up, but I just couldn't like pull the trigger on the whole situation. And so it's New Year's Eve, and I'm at home watching the Victoria's Secret runway show from that year. It was one of my favorite ones. I remember it so well. It's literally my favorite. I can't remember the year, but it was literally my favorite runway show ever. Anyways, I'm sitting there and I'm texting my best friend at the time, and I'm telling them like, hey, mind you, my best friend at the time happened to be a guy. And I tell him, I'm like, hey, this is what's going on, and I don't know how to break up with him, because I know breaking up means hurting people's feelings, and I just simply didn't like to hurt people's feelings, and I just didn't know how to break up. It was like my first actual relationship, and I don't know how to break up with anyone. So my friend had an idea. They're like, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I told my friend that I also wanted to like confirm that he was like cheating on me, not simply me just making it up in my head. And so here's the part where the catfishing comes in. It's not my proudest moment, but at least I was able to walk away and confirm that they were, or could have very much been, cheating on me the entire time that we were dating. My friend says, let's message him and pretend that we met at a rave, because my boyfriend at the time liked to go to raves. And I still to this day have never been to one, because he's scared the living crap out of me. I would be open to going to them. It's just like not my music. But anyways, he's like, okay, let's text him. So we text him. We're like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Is this so-and-so? And he's like, yeah. Who is this? And so he responds with a fake name and says, do you remember me? And my ex-boyfriend's like, no, I don't know who this is. Who is this? And so my friend is like, we met at a rave. And then my ex is like, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember you. Sort of. Do you mind sending me a picture of you? And my heart fell to my freaking asshole. I was like, oh, where are we gonna get a picture? Are you kidding me? That's like, what? But my best friend is a guy and talks to girls. So what did we do back in the day? We'd always send those pictures like this with the flip phone, and we'd be like in front of the mirror, but we would do it like all the way up here for some reason and pose. It made us look smaller. We were onto something. But anyways, I was like, oh man, you're gonna have to send a picture. Like, do you have one without a face? So he just like sees a body, and it was literally, yep. Let me tell you, this girl had a cute body. I don't know who she is. I don't know anything about her, but it was just kind of like underneath, like all this right here, and then her body, right? She's like wearing jeans or whatnot, right? It was a modest outfit. And my ex goes, what did he say? He's like, you're cute, blah, 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 like complimenting us. And my best friend's like, thanks. Are you do you have a girlfriend or something like that? And my ex-boyfriend was like, no, I'm single. And my heart just like, I felt it pounding. I was like, what? I was like fuming with anger. I'm like, no, you're not. You haven't been single for this many months. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I was mad. And I was so mad. Okay. When I get angry, I cry. When I get sad, I cry. When I'm happy, I cry. It's just a natural reaction my body has. And so I was crying because I was so livid at this whole situation. And my best friend goes, you are now, bitch. Genesis says she never wants to see you again. And put in caps, ha 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 ha. And my ex goes, I meant to say I'm singly in love with Genesis. I gotta give it up to him though, because although it was a late response to say that you are singly in love with me, too late to say it, but like smooth if it was said in a different context, different situation. And so yeah, that's how I broke up with him. Was by having my best friend help me break up with him. shitty way to break up with someone, but it's also shitty to never know if you were really cheated on, but everything made sense. Like I said, I didn't really ever have physical concrete evidence, but later down the line, I did hear a lot of stories that lined up with a lot of things that happened during our relationship, and it was shitty, but it was nice to finally get out of a situation I no longer wanted to be in. I don't recommend breaking up with people that way, but it was effective. I need to sneeze. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Every time I sneeze, or most of the times that I sneeze, my lower back pops. And that's on scoliosis. Material girl. I had someone comment on my last video about a question that they had. They suggested that I talk about things I wish someone had warned me about, and how I probably, how would I have handled that situation. And I thought about this question, and I've been thinking about it, and I feel as though there's not anything that comes to mind in regards to I wish someone had warned me about a situation. Genuinely, I can't think of anything, but there are things that I wish someone could have taught me. As you guys have watched this podcast, you guys can tell or know that I am a big believer in spirituality and manifestation and all that stuff, and I really wish that that would have been implemented sooner in my life rather than discovering it later. I feel that that would have saved me a lot of heartache and heartache, distress, distrust. I feel like that would have changed my life earlier on, but I'm happy with the way I found spirituality, I'm not gonna lie. But had I known that if you trust your intuition, if you listen to that gut feeling, it's usually the best decision for you. Even though sometimes it's super scary to trust your intuition, it's always the best outcome. Every time I choose to listen to my intuition, I feel that I get the biggest blessings, and the times that I don't listen to my intuition, I get fucked. Quite literally. My theory in life is, how do you handle day-to-day tasks? Me, personally, I tend to schedule things back to back, overbook myself, so on and so forth. So I feel that the universe tends to throw tribulations at me that way. Currently in my life, there's a lot that I'm really overwhelmed about, and more often than not, my life is really fucking great. I feel like every time something happens in my life, it's followed by a handful of other things. And currently, I feel as though the universe is really, truly testing me to see if I really want to be in school, if I really want this path for me. And I do. And all these things that are being thrown at me that are literally bringing me down, it's just like, yeah, I could definitely give up. I could definitely walk away from this situation, walk away from school completely. But then months will go by and I will be like, very sad. I finally have the opportunity to go to school. I finally have the opportunity to afford a lifestyle that, and I'm not like sitting here saying or wanting you to think that I'm living like this super lavish lifestyle, because I'm not, you guys. After my payments, after everything is said and done with my check, every paycheck, I'm left with very little spending money. But all my responsibilities are handled, but that's a huge leap from having my account constantly overdrafted. For those of you that don't know, before moving back to Utah, I went through a really huge breakup with someone that I was with for 5 years, and I lost everything that I had. And I wish that was an exaggeration, but it's genuinely not. I had a Volkswagen Beetle at the time, and I had to sell that. And the way my life lined up after that breakup was kind of, not only was it nerve-wracking to take a leap of faith, but it was so challenging for me to start over and not know where my life was going. So I feel as though, had someone taught me to trust my gut a little sooner, I think I could have avoided a lot of things. And the funny thing is, I feel that a lot of the reason that we broke up was a lot of the things that we both ignored at the beginning. And it really put into perspective, like when people say the reason why people break up is because of the red flags that they ignored at the beginning. And we both did. It was a mutual thing. When people break up, it's sometimes on both ends, and I'm not making a generic statement on breaking up or relationships, but most of the time two people ignore things, and we do that because once you love someone enough, they'll change, right? But unfortunately, that's not how it always works. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at is, I lost everything. I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. I could not afford to live in San Diego by myself. I was super unhappy with my living situation. I was miserable. I had not a dollar to my fucking name. It was a challenging time in my life, and I was incredibly depressed and overcoming an eating disorder at the time, and I slaved away in the gym, right? And I was there at ridiculous times of the day, like ridiculous times of the day. And how I ended up in Utah is pretty fucking crazy. I'm going to tell you that much. I was looking to move literally anywhere. I was even looking to move to Alaska. Had I saved enough for like a down payment, first and month's last rent in a place, like that was my goal. And I was planning on staying in California for as long as I could to save that money, because there was no way that I wanted to stay in California. No way. And so I started looking even in Oregon. Oregon has my heart. I've never been there, but it calls my name. 100%. That place calls my name, and I hope to visit it soon. I was looking out, like, Alaska is a crazy place to look at, but it sounds like fun. Where else was I looking? I think I also was looking at places in Washington. Anyways, crazy. Hold on, my camera's overheating. Give me 1 second, please, guys. What I was saying is that, yes, I lost everything after a breakup, and I didn't know what was my next move, and I knew that I had to make one quick, because the surrounding that I was in was not going to bring me any healing, or healing in the way that I wish I could have it. Life usually is really fucked with me. I happened to fall in love with my neighbor, and when we broke up, we became neighbors again. So that was really hard. But anyways, yeah, I lost everything, and I didn't know what I was going to do. So I was applying to housing literally everywhere. I was literally on Google Maps looking at these places that I would really wish to live at, never being there. Google Maps, and then like do it like Street View, and look at I would go on Craigslist, look for a house that was looking for roommates. I'd look for that address and Google Maps it, do Street View, and then go back to the regular maps and then see what was around there, and try to apply for places around there, like any kind of convenience store, anything like that, right? And as a suggestion, someone close to me told me that maybe I should see what it's like to live in Utah, and I was not for it at the time at all. But they also suggested, why not try moving back to your hometown? And I left that place with a really broken heart. I left that place very sad. Not everyone there was kind to me, ever. There was a very small portion of people that were kind to me, and that came down the line. But I fought to like be there. and have a place there and have a voice to be heard. And so it was really difficult to accept that possibility, but I realized that it could be a possibility, so I had to be open to it. At the time that I was looking for a place to live, I applied to the low income apartments that are in that town. So when I called to get information about how to apply, the manager that I spoke to told me that they will process my application if an opening happens to open up, if an apartment happens to open up. But he told me that the chances would be very unlikely, being that there is a 4-year wait list. And I was like, cool, that's fine. I'll just send my application anyways. If it's, I was open to the possibility, and that's it. I gave it a shot, right? So I just kept looking elsewhere. My friend, Hendrix, my best friend, he's a fucking awesome guy. I love that guy so much. So much. I love him. I get a message from him, and he's like, dude, they're opening a gym. You need to apply. They're looking for like a secretary. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'll apply. I call, and the person I spoke to told me that they may have found someone, but they will let me know. And so I sent over my resume, and that was that. Days later, I get a call from him, and he asks me if I'm still interested, and if I wanted the job, that my resume looks promising, that it looks like I'm someone who's responsible, and they would like me to work for them. As the other person fell through, they were not responsible for the position or what they ended up looking for in a person. I don't know. I can't really remember the conversation. But anyways, I was like, oh, yeah, I'll take it. And so I took the job position, but still nowhere to fucking live. I had no idea what I was going to do. Like I said, I left that town not really leaving relationships behind. More like acquaintances. And so I started to panic. And I thought I was going to have to just turn down a job, right? And I didn't want to, because it's an opportunity to move, right? And as I'm freaking out, days go by, and I get a call from the apartment complex, the low income apartment complex. And they tell me that there was 4 people ahead of me, which is why there was a 4-year wait. But those people fell through, and there's 4 apartments open. If I am still interested, I can move in as soon as November. And I didn't know how to process that, because how is it possible that I'm trying to move? A job offer was offered to me, and now this is a situation that is literally being dropped in my lap, a place to live. And that was the beginning of my spiritual journey, was learning to trust my gut and listen to my heart and listen to how my body is reacting to my surroundings. And I took that leap of faith, and I said yes to both opportunities. I stayed with a friend's mom and her daughters, who are my friends, but I asked them, I'm like, hey, I know that we haven't seen each other in a long time, but I was offered a job out there, and my apartment will be ready within a month. If you're okay with me staying there, I'm happy to help you pay around the house, any rent, any bills. I would more than love to do that. And she said that I didn't have to do any of those things, but I still went out of my way to buy food and stuff, because I was living there. And I stayed on a couch for a while, and it was the biggest blessing ever, because I didn't know where else I was going to stay or who else to reach out to at the time. And so, yeah, I sold my bug within that time frame. And I got myself a little Honda Civic that a year later decided to take a shit, and I was left without a car. But anyways, I took that leap of faith. I sold my car, and I cried all my way over to Utah. I scream cried because I couldn't believe that the life that I was fighting so hard to keep was no longer in my grasp, that it was gone, that it was behind me, that it was in the rear view mirror. For as much as I knew, as far as my life was going, that life was over. And fighting that was super difficult, but I knew, like, my body kept telling me, like, it's your time to let go of this. Like, you've wanted to move back to Utah, not under these circumstances, because it is something that I manifested a long time ago, but I wanted that to be like a thing that I did with someone, the person that I was in love with, my partner. But that didn't happen. So the universe decided that if that wasn't going to happen for me, that they were just going to send me alone. And so now I am here in Utah. And since that moment, it really led me down the path of spirituality and learning to trust my instinct and learning a lot about myself. So if I can answer that question, if there's something that I wish someone warned me about, would be that spirituality is hard, it's testing, and when your gut tells you something is wrong or your body tells you something is right, listen. It usually is the right thing for you. As uncomfortable as it is, as much as your mind says, no, I don't want it, it's what the universe is blessing you with. So take that opportunity and grow from it and cry through the process, be angry through the process, be happy through the process. Allow yourselves to feel all the fucking emotions that you can feel, because you are entitled to those feelings. With that being said, I hope I didn't just ramble, and if I did, I hope I full circle. I don't know. Either way, I want to say thank you guys so much for joining this podcast episode. I'm super grateful for your time. I'm super grateful for you. I'm super duper grateful for you guys giving this journey of mine an opportunity to grow with you and take some time out of your day to maybe be mindless and do your makeup. I don't know. Take a shower and listen to this, or clean your room and listen to this. I don't fucking know. Whatever it is you're doing, I'm just happy to be here with you. And that is it. Oh, no, it's not. I wanted to tell you guys that being honest about my mental health, I made that a point here, and I drew little stars by it. And I told myself that I wanted to tell you guys that at this very moment in my life, if you are going through tribulations that are really fucking difficult, know that you're not alone. Because I am too, and I'm not trying to make the situation about me.